In this video, we will learn how to attune and infuse any ascended ring. The first thing you should know is that if your ascended ring has any kind of infusion in it and you try to attune or infuse it, you will lose that infusion, and so you want to make sure to remove any infusion first. You can buy the item that we need to remove the infusion from inside fractals, and you can go into the fractals from the portal in Lion's Arch. You will find it in Fort Mariner, and this is the closest waypoint to it. And you can also find the fractal vendors in the Mistlock Sanctuary Pass. Once you are inside the fractals, just take the ramp down and then head forward until you reach the Infuse vendor. By the way, I apologize for the looks of the fractals, but this is one of the bugs in the DX11 beta, which so far for me has been working very well. Once you talk to the vendor, you want to go to the tab that says Mastery Items, and you want to buy Infusion Extraction Device. This will cost you 24 silvers. Once you have the item in your inventory, double click and it will open this small window. Just put the ring in that window and you will notice it tells you which infusions it will remove, and then click extract, and this will put the infusion back in your inventory, and it will be safe to attune or infuse the ring. To attune a ring, you will need to buy this item, Agonized Essence. You can only buy the Agonized Essence if you have the Agony Channeler Mastery, which is in the Fractal Attunement in Central Terria, and you will buy it from the same vendor we just saw, even the same tab, and it will also cost you 24 silvers. And you will also need Philosopher Stones, which you can buy 10 of them for 1 Spirit Shard. So I will just buy 10 right now. You can attune any ascended ring by putting the ring itself with a +1 Agony Infusion. You can buy the +1 Agony Infusion directly from the trading post. However, you will most likely have at least a few if you do fractals at all, with 1 Philosopher Stone, with 1 Agonized Essence, and then you combine all those items in the Mystic Forge. So I will just put them together now. And once you have all 4 components, you can just click Forge, and this will attune your ring. Now it have attuned at the beginning of the name, and it will now also have 2 infusion slots instead of 1. To infuse any ring, you will put the ring itself with 5 vials of condensed mist essence, which you can get as a lucky drop from doing fractals from level 1 to level 20, and then 3 globs of mist essence, which you can get as a lucky drop from level 21 to level 50, and 1 shard of crystallized mist essence, which you can get as a lucky drop from level 51 to level 100. If you are someone who does fractals often, you will most likely have some of those items at least in your material storage. You will find them where your lodestones are saved. You can see them lined up below each other. Once you have your items ready, we are going to put the ring with 5 vials, with 3 globs, and 1 shard. And now I can click Forge, and this will infuse my ring. As you will see, it have infused at the end of its name, and when I hover on it, I will notice it have 2 infusion slots instead of the 1, just like when we attuned. So by default, a ring will have only 1 infusion slot, but when you attune or infuse, it will give you additional 1, and this way you will have 2 infusion slots. If you did not have the materials I just showed you to infuse, you can buy them from the same infuse vendor in the same mastery items, and they are not cheap. They will need some gold, and they will need a lot of fractal relics. I would highly recommend that you do not infuse your rings this way, and that you be patient to get the materials instead. The only exception, of course, is if you really need an urgent infused ring right now. We can also infuse and attune the same ring. This is the ascended ring that we just infused together right now. So we will now also attune it, and I will use the same recipe. And then you forge. And you will notice that now your ring have attuned at the beginning of its name and infused at the end. So now this ring is attuned and infused. Attuned and infused rings will have a total of 3 infusion slots. So by default, the ascended ring will only have 1 infusion slot. When you attune it or infuse it, you will have an additional slot for a total of 2. And then you can attune and infuse a ring, which will give you a total of 3 additional slots. There are 2 reasons why you may want to attune or infuse a ring. The first reason is that you can see it says unique in its name right above account bound. This means that you cannot have 2 of the same ring at the same time. So right now I have this ring called 18 band equipped on my scrapper, and I have another one in my inventory. If I try to equip, it won't let me, even though there is an empty slot. However, if I try to use a different ring, it will let me equip with no problem. But you will notice here that I have the same ring, but the difference is one of them is normal and the other is attuned. So I can equip one, and I can also equip the other one. So as long as one of the rings will be different than the other, you can have both of them at the same time. So for example, you can equip two of the same ring. One of them is normal, while the other is attuned or infused. And you can also equip a ring that is attuned or infused, while the other one is attuned and infused. And the other reason why you may want to attune or infuse or do both to any ascended ring is to have those extra infusion slots, which will be extremely helpful when you do high-level fractals, because this way each ring can have up to a total of 3 infusion slots, and you can put whatever infusion you want in them. If you found this guide helpful, please consider subscribing and leaving a like, and this will help me make more content in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.